Hi, if you are new to beekeeping or are thinking about starting, then this is a video for you. I know it can be really overwhelming with all the information and all the equipment, so let me show you the beekeeping basics that you will need to get started. Let's first look at the boxes. So these are the most common Langstroth hive boxes, and they are wooden boxes with wooden frames in them. They come in different sizes, as you can see, and they differ in their width and their depth. So let's first look at the different widths. And this box here is the biggest one. It fits 10 frames in it, and we call it 10 frame box. The next size down is an 8 frame box, fits 8 frames. And the smallest one fits 5 frames, and we call it nuke box or nucleus colony box. Now let's look at the different depths. So the one on the left is called the deep box, and the one on the right is called the medium box. There is also a shallow box, but I don't have one, so I can't show you. Now this is important now to think about because they also come in different sizes of frames, and this is a deep frame, and this is a medium frame. And as you can see, there are different depths too. So while the medium frame will fit inside the deep box, the deep frame will not fit inside the medium box. And this is important because later on, you will want to be switching frames around from box to box and switching boxes around. So many people will choose to just go with all medium boxes or all deep boxes. I personally like to use a combination, and the way I use them is I will put my deep box on the bottom and use it as a brood box. And all that brood box is basically place where the bees will put their brood, their young. And they naturally always want to put it in the bottom box. Then I will put my medium box on top of the brood box, and this is what we call the super or honey super. And all that is basically the box that's on the top. And that's because the bees really like storing their honey above their brood box. And so that's why we call it the honey super. So this is the only difference between brood box and the honey super. It's the placement of the box. Now let's look at the frames. So frame is basically where the bees will draw the wax comb and store their honey and their brood. And you have two options. You can go with the foundation frames, and this is a plastic foundation that has pre-drawn hexagonal shapes that the bees will draw the wax, build the wax up on. And it comes in two different colors. And as you can see, there is a light one and a black one. I would highly suggest, if you're going with the foundations, to go with the black, just because every time you go into the hive, you will be looking for brood that is larvae and eggs, and they are white. So as you can imagine, that would be pretty hard to find on the light background. So the black is just a good way, easier way to find the brood. And the reason you're looking for the brood is just so you know that the queen is alive and well, and you don't have to look for her in between 10,000 bees. Now the other option for a frame is to go foundationless, which is basically just using the wooden frame, and many people will put a string across vertically just to support the wax better. I personally like using the bamboo skewers vertically, and all I did is I drilled a little hole at the bottom ridge as well as the top ridge, and I just slided the bamboo skewers in, and they hold in there really good. I used no glue, as you can see, really rigid, and this will just help the wax to the comb to stay in and not flop from side to side or fall out. So these are your frame options. Now let's look at the bottom boards. And the bottom boards are basically the board that the box will sit on, like so. And it provides an entrance for the bees to go in and out of. And there are two variations. So this one on top here we call solid bottom board. It is basically a plank of wood, and all the debris from the boxes above will fall onto it, like dead bees, mites, you know, any wax or pollen. And usually the bees are really good at cleaning it, but sometimes at the end of a winter you will have to go and clean this out. So I prefer using the other variation, which is called the screened bottom board. And it's the same thing, only there's a wire mesh in the middle, and that allows all the debris to fall through. So it's really more hygienic, and also in the summer you can keep it open for increased ventilation. And in the winter, there's a little slot in the back, and you can slide in this corrugated plastic and basically close it up for the winter. It slides in and out, as you can see, like this. It's a little bit hard right now. But I also use this plastic as an IPM board, and you can put a little bit of oil and it will catch anything that, you know, falls down from the hives. And you can monitor the mites with this way. You can also see anything that's going on inside the hive, especially in the winter when you don't want to go inside the hives. You can really read this board a lot. So now let's look at the top. The top of the hive has inner cover, and inner cover will just basically cover the top of the box and the frames, and it has an opening in the middle for ventilation, and also the bees can go out of this way. And as you can see, there's a little bee space. This is a bee space, and it's basically 1/4 inch that allows them to walk around. And sometimes it also comes with this notch in the front, and this is used for upper entrance. I personally don't like to use upper entrances. I think it's just an unchecked point that you know, small hive beetles and wax moths can just get into the hive. And many people will use this and many people won't. I personally like to use them for feeding bees. When I need to, you know, give them some sugar syrup, I will use these boards. If you have one and you don't want to use the upper entrance, you simply can just put the lid on and slide the lid in like so, and voila, no upper entrance. So this style of lid is called migratory lid. And as you can see, it has a lip in the front and a lip in the back, but nothing on the sides, and it's wooden. And this is a much cheaper option, but I usually use it just for temporary boxes, like my nuke boxes. But for the overwintered hives, I really prefer using the other option, which is the telescoping cover. Let me show you right here. So this is a telescoping cover, and as you can see, it has the lip on all 4 sides, and also the top is aluminum, and it doesn't rust. It's really good at protecting the hive from wind and rain, and it really lasts a long time. A little bit more expensive, but I think worth it. Now, the only other things that you will need to get started is the smoker. And all you will do is basically put some dry, either leaves, I use pine needles, or you can use wood shavings, and you will make fire inside it and then give it a couple puffs. And you know, you can use it to smoke the bees on top really lightly, gently, just to calm them down and make it easier for everyone. Now we have this tool, and this is a really important tool. It's your only tool basically in beekeeping they will use every single time you go inside the hives. And you will use this end to prop open the boxes and the lids, because every time the bees glue it with their propolis, and it's really hard to open, so you will just go like this and pop it open, and you will use this side, this little tooth here, to help you get the frames up and out. Let me show you a little bit better here. There we go. So very important tool. And another thing you will need is entrance reducer, and it's basically just a piece of this wood with a notch, and you will put it on the bottom and reduce the entrance. So bees really like the small entrance holes. The bigger hives will come with two options. It will have the small opening and the bigger opening. And I like to use the big opening when there is a lot of nectar flow and there is a lot of traffic going in and out from the hive. And I will use the small notch for summer and winter so they can protect themselves better. Now, every single time you're using this, make sure that the notch is facing up. The last thing that you will need is a protection for yourself. So these are beekeeping gloves. They're leather around the hands, and then I like to use the reinforced cuffs because the wrist is usually where they will get me. And as you can see, they go all the way up to your elbows. Then you will need a beekeeping suit, a full suit, and I really recommend getting the two-piece, just because sometimes you want to just put on the pants and bring the jacket with you, and you know, it's just much easier this way. So this is basically it. This is all you need to start beekeeping.